All right, that should do it. What's going on, you guys? We are back again for another quick video here. We are not out on the lake, unfortunately, but we're going to be here in a little bit. Well, you guys won't be seeing it in this video, but I postponed my trip for an afternoon deal this morning because we were supposed to get hammered with rain and nasty weather, and we got a lot of clouds, but no rain. But either way, it's a good thing. I'm going to give this boat an absolute wash down because it's disgusting. It is probably the dirtiest it's been since I've owned this thing. So we're going to give her a bath. But before I do that, I wanted to just touch base with you guys and shoot a little video to show you guys not only how I store my tackle here in my Blazer Ultimate Bay, but just how simple I keep it and just kind of what's inside my boat. I feel like a lot of people think I have I talk about I fish one bait, but I got a bunch of secret weapons or, secret baits or whatever. Or I say one thing in my videos and do's another thing. But I get a lot of you on the boat that when I reach in there to grab you a new plastic or retie something, you guys are almost shocked. They're like, man, that's really, you really do store your baits like that, or it really doesn't matter to you, or you keep, what have you. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is what is in my boat, 365. I keep it as simple as humanly possible. But remember, again, I really only fish one lake and one lake only, and that's Lake Okeechobee. Yes, I go down to the Everglades and I go other places too, but for the most part, all of my trips, all of my fun fishing is done on this lake. So I don't need to have a huge arsenal of tackle with me because what worked 3 years ago still works for me, and I just try to keep it simple, and I feel like I fish better like that. So, yeah, I mean, you guys could probably take a peek in there. You can see it's, I've got it narrowed down, and this is how my boat stays all, through the whole entire year. So what I've got is I've got these little Tupperwares like this. This one's just labeled easy. All right, so this is just going to be any of my moving soft plastics. I'm trying to keep it so you guys can see it. So in here, I'm actually running pretty low. I got my Big Easies in this bag. Okay, it's running low. If I reach in here and just grab a few, well, this one's missing a tail. That one we could throw at the scrapyard, but I've got a couple of different colors in here. You can see, here it's mainly melon shad, but I've got lane toad. I'll throw like that golden roach color, red ear, just any bluegill looking colors. Really, the only thing that's in here is melon shad anymore. I guess I used there's a few lane toads left. Lane toad and melon shad are my two favorites. And like I said, I can catch a big one on this one. It'll rip, and I can reach in and grab a lane toad and throw it just as confidently because I really don't think the color makes a difference with this bait. You're usually moving it too, super fast. And when you're dealing with bluegill, which I really feel like most of the time you're buzzing a Big Easy around, you're fishing for brim eaters. Not one of them's the same. They all come in little different shades and things like that. So got that. I got these in the King of the Glades raffle at the end of the day. And let me actually adjust this camera a little bit down for you. There we go. And these are I think it's called the Bullet. These are made by Bruiser Baits. Steve Dial over there, super cool guy. Great dude, native Floridian, badass fisherman. And he made this, and it's, when it comes down to it, it's almost like a speed worm, like a burner worm, speed worm deal. But this thing, it's a multi-use bait. I mean, a lot of people are swimming it. You can drag it on the bottom. But I was buzzing this thing around where I throw a Big Easy, and this thing has an awesome action. They got a really good cup tail, throws a lot of water. It doesn't have as deep of a bloop, 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 bloop sound like a Big Easy does. It's more of like a higher pitch gurgle. And I really like this thing. We caught a few fish on it. I just got my hands on them. This is bruiser bug color, but I was catching them on this one, watermelon gold. You can see there's only 2 left in the pack. My guy caught a lot of fish on them the other day, and they swam great. They threw off a lot of water. Really neat. I'll definitely be getting some of these here in the near future. Great search bait. And again, the same thing like a speed worm. I mean, you can swim it, you can buzz it, you can drag it. It's a really multi-use bait. Pretty cool. I've got one big bag of Trixie Sharks, black red flake. Those of you that don't know what Trixie Shark is, it's basically a horny toad, but Reaction Innovations version of it. Kind of an Okeechobee secret, I guess. A lot of people like them. I throw them. There is a time and place, but for the most part, I'm just a swim bait guy. And then I've got my easy swimmers here. Again, you can see there's a ton of different colors in this bag. I've got melon shad, I've got lane toad, I've got red ear, I've got Copperfield, all in one bag. Easy swimmer. I don't think the color matters. Going down to that little smaller profile does make a difference sometime. Shad colored easies. I've got white, I've got easy vibes, I've got ghost shad easy swimmers, white lightning easy swimmers, all in the same bag. Need to restock on those. And then I've just got, you know, these are all easy swimmers as well. Red ear and ghost shad. I've got a couple of different bags that once those run low, I'll throw them in here. So that's my moving bait slash, you know, winding plastic box. I just throw them in there. That's it. So we got easies or moving baits. My worm box doesn't get much more simple. These Bass Pro Senkos, black red flake, 6-inch. You get 16 of them for like $6. I use the fire out of these, as you can tell. Got these in the King of the Glades raffle the other day as well, but these are kind of a staple down here in the Everglades. You can throw them on Okeechobee in the Rim Canal and stuff. I do catch a lot of fish on them. This is the Big Nasty by Bruiser. It's a 14.5-inch worm. Bottom Line Mike designed this in his garage, and then Steve started pouring them. Great bait, great. It's just a giant ribbon tail worm. They're made real well. They have really good swimming action. Catch a lot of fish on them. And then you can see I've got a big bag of Gambler burner worms here. Back at you. Black and blue, gold rush, all different colors in there. This is the big one. And then I've got a bag of the smaller ones and back at you. Running low on those as well, just if I want to switch it up. Again, I've got 3 new bags of these black red flake Senkos. And then I've got this giant bag of them as well, which I need to empty these in there. That's about all I use. There's a little thing of flukes in here as well. So I'm a big fan of dark colors. I feel like a lot of times the darker colors catch bigger fish just because those big fish in here are smart and they don't get a very good look at them. They just get that silhouette and they eat it. So I'm a big fan of any dark colors down here. That's what I got there. Flip, my flipping box. Here's what I primarily use. There is, not only are there 3 different types of baits in here, there's probably 6 different colors. There, right off the rip, I see black red flake reaction beavers, black red flake D-bombs. There's hematoma beavers. There's back at you ugly otters in there. There's black neon D-bombs in there. I mean, there's a little bit of everything in this box. I mean, there's a bitters beaver, there's a D-bomb, there's a hematoma beaver, and there's a bunch of I mean, it does not matter to me what I flip. As long as it's got that profile, that's it, and it's a dark color, Cody's happy. I've got a big bag of bitters beavers that I got in like a raffle or something. These are super cheap. Most of you are very familiar with bitters. They're just, essentially they just ripped off a beaver. That's all it is. And they're really cheap. I like them. They don't hold my 5/0 hack attack hook great, but I use them when I'm practicing a lot, and they catch just as many fish. And then in here, I've got, well, there's a couple different baits in here. I've got, this is my, more like my craw punching bag. So I've got back at you burner craws, which are probably my favorite. But then I've got back at you Gambler why nots. I've got, what else we got? We got Gold Rush, which is a 2-tone color, like a June bug, green pumpkin gold. I like that color a lot in burner craw. I've got those Bruiser Mac Daddy craws. Great punching bait as well. Really sleek, do nothing bait, catch a lot of big fish. I don't know. I mean, there's just a bunch of different nonsense in here because, again, it doesn't matter to me. But that's my punching bag. You can see there's those smaller profile craw baits is what I will punch with when it gets real cold. Or if they're just being real picky, you know, or if I'm flipping really thick stuff to try and get through. Those go through the mat much easier than the beaver style bait. And you get hung up a lot less. We got that. Trying to blow through this. I've got a little box with some extra line. There's some extra reels in here because everyone breaks everything. Got some 20-pound mono. I've got some Strike King fluorocarbon. I've got some Suffix 832 braid from when we backlash a reel beyond repair. Got some 20-pound Yozuri fluoro. I really like this stuff. This Yozuri fluoro I am a big fan of. So we got that. Always good to have that in the boat box. Half of them are wet, and yeah, it's all filled with water and whatnot. Swim jig trailer. This is probably my most diverse box. I've got these new Missile Chunky D's. These look really good on the back of a swim jig. They're a little small for my flipping hook. I can go down to a 4/0 and probably flip these in mats and do very well, but just for my standard 5/0 hook I like to flip. They don't fit it great, but on the back of a swim jig, it's on it yesterday, they work awesome. Black and blue Bruiser Crazy Crawl. Pretty much what I throw on my swim jig 90% of the time, especially when I'm throwing a black and blue or a June bug color. I've won more money on this lake probably off of that deal right there than anything. Yamamoto Zakos, pretty much the only chatterbait trailer I throw. I've got that two-tone. It's like a green pumpkin, black and blue one. There's a bunch of them in that bag. That's what I like to use. And then this one, it's in a hog farmer bag, but it's like some Arkansas Shiner color or something. I like to throw that on the back of my white ones. This little deal, the Bongo by 6 cents. Just pick these up. Badass little trailer. Have a really good swimming action to them. Throwing it on a white one and catching a lot of fish on that. More Zakos, white Crazy Craws, and there's some kind of clear shad Z Craw by Zoom in there. Works very well as also. The only swim baits I'll throw on the back of my swim jig are Gambler. So I've got a big bag of Gambler Little Easies and Gold Rush. I really like throwing this color on the back of a black and blue swim jig. It's small, but it's got that two-tone. So that green pumpkin, goldish color, whatever it is, I'm partially colorblind on top or on bottom, shows through that black and blue skirt, gives a little contrast. And caught a lot of big fish on this, especially if I'm throwing that cross style bait, but I'm fishing thicker grass and it's having a hard time coming through it. I'll switch to this and I catch just as many on this guy. And then I've got ghost shad and white Little Easies for throwing a white swim jig. If it's really dirty water, I'll go to the white. If it's dirty, but they can still get a decent look at it, I'll go to that more transparent ghost shad color. Again, in the same bag. It doesn't matter. I just leave them all in there. So that's it for my plastics and my boxes. And then when it comes to, if any of you are even still watching this, this might be a boring video, but I get asked a lot of like what I really throw. I've got a Bass Mafia terminal coffin or whatever this is. It's pretty much empty. I've got a lot of tungsten. I've got Gambler Big Easy hooks. I throw my swim baits on, my Easies. I've got a bunch of spring locks. 5/0 Hack Attack flipping hooks. 5/0 Mustad grip pin EWG hooks. These are awesome. I wouldn't throw a swim bait on them. They'll probably bend out. But as far as for like throwing a Senko or a worm, these are my favorite hook. Got some treble hooks. Got some Gambler Does It's, a little bladed deal swim bait hook. Everyone raves about them. I rarely ever throw it, but I have them. Some bobber stops, and that's about it. Not a big hook guy. The hook. Just whatever fits my bait will work. And these are my boxes. Little, because I don't need a bunch of anything in my boat. All right. So here we got my frog box. Not one pointy nose frog in there. They're all popping frogs. Again, I fish Lake Okeechobee. This is what we use. I've got some light, I don't even know what these colors are. They look good to me. I've got that red one everyone likes to use. I've got a few killer gills, which lately I've not been getting the bites for me. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Some different, just loud colors just to try. And you can see there's a shitload of black. There is a random killer gill over here, but black. There's a bunch of black Spro popping frogs. I don't change the hooks out. I just don't, because they blow the mouth of the frog out. They rip easier, and these things are 13 bucks a piece. That's all I want them to save, and I really don't. I feel like I don't lose a bunch of fish on them. I got this is a 6 cents Vaga frog I wanted to try. Haven't even tried it yet, but it's a black popping frog. I like it. Obviously, Killer Gill works great. Lately, I haven't been getting as many bites on it, but I think this is Red-Ear. That cut bottom right there looks really nice. A lot of people throw it. I personally haven't thrown it very much, but that's my frog box. Not much variation there. This says jigs, but this is just a little box I keep my Strike Force in, super glue for gluing my trailers on, and Sharpies. I'm a big advocate of Sharpieing my braid a lot of times. Does it matter? Probably not, but it makes me fish better. Swim jig box. I don't like that opaque bright white skirt, but that's all they had. I like a more translucent shad skirt, like Gambler makes one called Arkansas Shiner, I think. That's one I typically have, but I haven't been able to find it. Some green pumpkin skirts, and there's my June bug skirts right there. I've got some pre-made jigs that I've just taken off. I am becoming more of a big fan of these Arc swim jigs. They work great, and you can get your hands on them. The dirty jigs that I like, you can see I rip the skirts off and throw them right in the garbage because I don't use those skirts. You like the Star Flash skirts. Louie, your skirts are beautiful. They're nice. They're really neat looking. But even with the arcs, I don't use them. One that I will use, this is the Arc Swim Jig. I don't even know what color this is, but it's like a shad color, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like it's not white, more of like a translucent silver. This one I leave on. That's a badass color. I really like that. But as far as like with this, I really am an advocate and a fan of those Star Flash skirts. Does it matter? I don't know, but it makes me fish better. Like you can see here, I ripped that one off on that Arc and put that June bug Star Flash on there. And this is the dirty jig. But like I said, if I buy them, I typically just rip the skirts right off, put the heads in there. Easier to store, and I just think they get more bites. But that's it. There's some black and blue Star Flash in there too, but June bug, black and blue, I don't think it makes a difference. My legs are falling asleep. Chatterbait box. That's it. I've got some white translucent color. I don't even know what color it is. Got 2 or 3 of those. I've got some bruised green pumpkins and some black and blues. Obviously, these are all jackhammers. I did just get given to me by a good buddy / customer of mine named Garrett. Fished a tournament with him the other day, and he gave me a handful of this other brand that he gets made from some guy in his garage. Super, super cool chatterbait. Comes with great hooks. They work great. I got to add some of those to here. But black and blue, they got some shiner colors and deals. Once I lose some of these, I'll be replacing them with them because they look awesome, and he catches a lot of fish on them. But keep it simple. I really don't even get into throwing like a green pumpkin color anymore. Oh, this is one of them right here. This is one of the chatterbaits that he gave me a while ago, but just natural like bluegill color. Got like a painted head, badass blade, got a good hook in it. Will work great. You can and the cool thing about that chatterbait, I don't even remember the name of them, but you could throw that on braid. It's got a really stout hook. But I really just throw that. This is a black and blue one, but that bruised green pumpkin, even in super clean water here on Okeechobee, because it's that tannic dark color water, they eat that bruised green pumpkin a lot out here. But, you know, just a regular green pumpkin one works awesome. I've got the shiner color in here. That's it. So that's that. We got the man box. Oh, my leg's falling asleep. The man box. Not time for this box to come out yet, but when it does, I get really happy. This is just my flipping jig box. All right. I've got a bunch of June bug Star Flash skirts in here. I've got Fitzgerald Texas jig. I really like that. I've got some Gambler Jigzillas. I've got a lot of Texas jigs, and these are the Fitzgerald Mega Jig. I like them a lot. I wish the hook was about a ½ inch shorter, but it is what it is. And that's it. One color, one size, 3/4 ounce. I do have a couple ounces in here just in case, but pretty much only flip it 3/4. June bug skirt with a Gambler Mega Daddy or a D-bomb on the back, and that's it. What else we got? Got a trap box. I don't even need to, well, I guess I'll open it. This needs to be a little bit filled up, but I've just got some, you know, some just chrome and black Excalibur / Booyahs. I'm a big fan of the Ozuri one. The Ozuris, I need to change the hooks out. And then I've got some golds, obviously. That's it. I need to get some more traps, but it's not really that time yet. I got a hybrid hunter in here. Everyone loves it. I haven't caught a fish on it. Some 6 cents little glide thing just thrown in there, a jerk bait. For the most part, it's a 1/2 ounce chrome and black or gold and black trap for me, and that's it. I really don't think it matters. Got that. And then my last box is my Topwater box, which I'm starting to become a Topwater guy. But it don't get much more simple than that. I've got that gold spook I like to throw. That's been the one. I found a Vixen in my garage. I didn't even know I owned one, but gotta change the hooks out, but that's a staple down here when you can get your hands on them. I've got a plopper, a chrome super spook, some of those arc pencil poppers that I like when they're schooling. Again, I throw a spook when I'm fishing. I like searching and just throwing that around. Also, I got this natural color, the shad colored Ozuri. I just bought one in a gold. Caught some nice fish on that one. This is a great bait, dude. For 10 bucks, it comes with great hardware. Again, I ripped the middle hook off and replaced the hooks. But the O-rings are great. They're black nickel. It makes a really good knocking sound, and this bait walks great, and it's 10 bucks. I recommend that. I'm a big fan of the Ozuri deal products, both in bass and in saltwater. But this is the moneymaker that I always use. It's that original Hayden spook. It's the saltwater version in that gold and mustard color. And just rip the hooks off, put 2 EWGs on there, and have at it. Got a little prop bait, Ozuri prop bait I use as my version of a devil's horse. There's a big popper in there. And then again, the pencil poppers, I throw the spook style baits when I'm just openly fishing. If I find them schooling on shad, I really like those pencil deals by Arc. They throw a mile, and they don't make as much commotion and noise on top. A lot of times when those fish are schooling, it's on smaller shad. It gives off a smaller profile. On them, they come standard with the 3 EWG hooks. And with this, I leave the 3 hooks on there. I feel like when they're schooling, they're just slashing at it a lot more. And those are smaller baits. So got a couple. I got a white one, a sexy shad one, and a silver one in that. But that golder color works very well for me on the lake when just throwing that spook. So that's what I got. Close that up. And then I've got some War Eagle mouse colored spinner baits in here. I'm not a big spinner bait guy, but it has been working. And then these Hog Farmer Dragon Tails, Missile Baits partnered with them, and they're starting to pour some of these in some of their colors, like Bruiser Flash and Superbug and stuff. This is well known as a chatterbait trailer, but I've been flipping it and catching a lot of nice fish. I don't even have any in the bag. I only have like 3 left, so they're just thrown in the bottom here. I've got a shiner box. This is for when I'm out there running shiner trips. Corks, kale hooks, some bobber stops, 3-way swivels, sabiki weights, 20-pound leader. Got a weigh-in bag, a scale that is not accurate, apparently, and some more spinner baits, and that's it. That is what stays in my boat 365 days a year out here on Lake Okeechobee. Now, again, I am far from the best fisherman on this lake. There are a lot of people that catch a lot more and bigger fish than me, and they might have completely different stuff and more stuff in their boat. That's great. That's the cool thing about fishing. You can use what works for you, and that's what works for me. I fish better if I have less options. I fish better if I don't overthink things as much. So go into these smaller boxes and just, they're watertight. They keep everything nice and dry, and it holds everything I need it to. The bigger I get, the more unused stuff I tend to buy. And then I just have more clutter in my boat. I feel like I just fish better, keeping it simple. So that's what works for me. But that's it. So if you guys have any questions, I'm not going to do the tactical bassing thing and put the description or the links in the bio to all that stuff. You can find it. It's pretty simple. Fishing Headquarters has all of that. Go see Mike. I'm Pretty much everything I buy comes from him, except for the Bass Pro Senkos. But here's the deal, guys. Like a Senko is a Senko, whether it's an Ace, a Bruiser Big Stick, a Yamamoto Senko, a Bass Pro Senko, it's all the same. I like the black red flake color. It's just confidence. Everyone out here throws black and blue. I like the black red flake. The other thing that I like about the Bass Pro ones is they're packed with salt, and I think it makes them heavier. So that Senko is heavier than most other ones on the market in the 6-inch one, in my opinion. You could throw it weightless a lot easier, and it sinks faster. Do they hold on to it longer and stuff? I don't know. Probably not. But I used to work at Bass Pro, and I got those 40% off at the time, so I bought the hell out of them. And that's what got me using them. But I just like that color. It's a confidence deal. But other than that, everything else, Fishing Headquarters has, you know, feel free to go in there and spend all your hard-earned money with Mike Kraus like I do. Great guy. And I believe my power poles are still available. I don't think I've even told you. I don't think I did a video on it, but I got a great deal on some Minn Kota Raptors, and I switched to them. Phenomenal product. They work great. My power poles had nothing wrong with them. They were awesome. They were just 5 years old. They've been through the gamut with me. I use them every day. Their customer service has been phenomenal, and they are phenomenal. You will not find a company in the industry or in any industry that has customer service compared to Power Pole. It was just one of those things that I got a good deal on them. I needed new poles, and I couldn't refuse it, so I threw them on there. So I'm selling my power poles through Mike Kraus. He has them. If you guys, I believe he still has them. I haven't talked to him in a few days. So if you call them and they're already sold, forget I even said anything, but you might be able to get a good deal on some 2 8-foot power pole blades through Mike. And he will install them. So that's it. Might have some rain coming. I'm going to try and bathe this old dirty boat here, and then I'm going to hit the lake. So hope you guys liked that video. It was kind of pointless, but just wanted to show you guys what I keep in the boat. Keep it simple. You know, I mean, it's different. You guys hear all the pros and everything talking about you need to have this, you need to have that. These guys are fishing for a living like I am, but they're competing, and they're fishing all over the country in a different body of water every month. I don't do that. So I keep it simple. What works for me, what works in January for me, for the most part, is going to work in August. It's all condition based, and it's all time of day, time of, you know, temperature driven, and time of year. So that's all I carry. And that's going to be in my boat for the next 20 years. Keep it simple. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everyone that's just been coming up to me saying how much you guys like the videos. I'll be doing another podcast here shortly, but I'm going to get this boat bathed, and I get to go hit the water. It's awesome conditions out, so hopefully we smash them. Follow me on social media to see if we catch anything on today's trip, and I'll see you guys on the next one.